5 meters.
Fine. Yeah.
It's going to be 45 yards. This you'll know the
Put it back correct. Try it a little bit. Fine. Yeah, below your feet.
There you go. You're comfortable today?
No, yeah, you're good. This is I'm already comfortable.
Clear.
Clear?
Yes, sir. Little thinly one.
Yeah.
Middle of the green.
Hold a little left.
Slight pull, middle of the green.
Actually, club up
This is
in front.
unbelievable. This is incredible. Huge respect.
Okay, and you say
Feel
it's
that.
after that.
I just want to shank it into math.
Okay, you're
I'm not
clear.
your wolf right there in that. And you know what?
Clear. Nice.
Is that better?
Yes.
Spin.
Yes.
Spin.
Take feet left of the flag.
That's
Beautiful.
not
Why
fair.
didn't you set him up?
Why don't you have a go?
Have a go set him
Yeah,
up.
guide me. Guide me. Come on. Come on.
Okay, here.
Here we go.
I can't
That's
mess
right.
this
No,
up.
you can't. Come on. I got the rib on the back, so I kind of know where the square is. We're going to that right flag, right?
Yeah, go to the right flag. Okay, hang on. Guys, this is the most nervous I've ever been.
Stop.
Okay, all right, hang on. A little more.
This is so impressive, everybody.
Okay, wait for it. Okay. Yep. All right, you're clear. You're good to go.
Good?
Yep, perfect.
Okay, I got like a 35-yard shot.
35-yard shot.
Oh.
See,
I get him
up and he scolds.
That's right. Let me do one more. Let me do one more. Come on, we
Right
got
here.
Now you've got to show us how to get out of that
Bryson,
funk.
back shots is always the guide's fault. It's never the player. They go there real in blind guide.
I'm just kind of let you set
right
it.
there.
I'm going to grip it.
Okay. All right, now you're set. All right, perfect. Now go. You're clear.
Okay.
35 yards. Uh-huh.
Oh, perfect.
Middle of the green.
Yeah.
We can make par from there.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Good job.
That's what
No, you guide me. I don't want him guide me. You kidding me?
Like closing my eyes as a kid and learning to chip
Yeah, it
and
gives you the
whatnot.
feel.
So, yeah, because I want to be in my head thinking about how to control shots, not looking exterior and go, oh my gosh, there's a bunker. That I've always tried to play golf in my head. Oh my gosh, that was perfect. You're cheating, you can't see. That's so hard. Oh my gosh, I was scared to death. If I chip like that.
Charity.
That is literally right
Put him in a
wherever
divot,
that is,
Bryson.
and get comfortable around it.
Okay.
Yeah. And then ball's a little bit back in your stance.
Okay. All right.
Do
Are we
your thing.
clear?
You're clear.
Okay.
Okay. I have no idea where anything is. Okay. So you're gonna set up the ball as right as you feel the
Okay.
ball. That's square right there. I'm gonna set you up a little bit
Okay.
right perfectly in the middle there. Okay. Ball's in front of that.
All right. Good to go?
Good to go. Free.
The toughest part is feeling like it's the feeling up and down.
Can I bring Andy in there?
Please,
Andy
bring
and
Andy
Ollie. So
in.
Andy is a big stage.
It's so weird. I got nothing.
No. It's perfect. It's right on the grass. Perfect. A little left, but that's good contact there.
It's brutal because you can't feel the depth.
So how much can you see?
If I look, I've got about 5%. So if I look at the golf ball now, I can't see that.
Okay.
So
But if I look somewhere over here,
you can see the ball.
I can see something white and fluffy, so I can get the club head behind the ball. But the worst shots for me is when my body's casting a shadow over the ball.
Oh, you can't see it.
That's the hardest one because everything kind of goes, which I'm not used to. So if you're out in daylight and it's something else, fine. But once your own shadow, it's really difficult.
So are you always looking up to see down, see the ball down?
Yeah, I'm always looking away. So I've got no central vision, but blurred peripheral.
Which is
So
what
in
you've got there.
my periphery,
Yeah.
that's where I can get to see the white and
Got
stuff,
it.
which is why I can get the club head behind the ball.
Gotcha.
Although not always straight.
So you can set behind it, and do you look up to see the ball? Do you look up?
Yeah. If I'm here,
You're looking up.
I'm looking over here where I guess your feet are.
Okay.
So it probably looks like I'm lining it up out of the heel. But
Yeah.
it's just something that I'm kind of used to. I think that's
Yeah.
something to do with your vision.
Well, I
So-
line it up out of the heel all the time anyway. So.
Exactly.
Have you ever used a spot in front of the ball to
No.
aim?
No, I've always, like I think it was Andy who said earlier, or Ron, everybody's different at being lined up. Some people get like the club head putting behind. When I get down to putting, then Ollie will stand behind me and I'll have paced up to get a feel for if it's left to right, right to left,
Oh, yeah.
and I get a judge on distance. and then I'll come back and I'll put the club head behind the ball, and Ollie will say left a touch, right a touch, until I'm on the right line where he wants me to hit it. And like Andy said, I hit all the good puts and he hits all the bad ones.
Yeah. Amen. That's how it works.
Can I try one with this?
Yeah.
With the glasses?
Yes.
I want to try one with the glasses. Just giving you guys a bit of sense, if anyone has any sort of sense of where the ball is to the target, I always try and put like something in front of the ball, and then keep that point, and like square up yourself to that point if there's any possible way to do that, because then I'm already always there. But yeah, this is. Wow. Here we go. Because
Now that makes me feel better.
because it's blurred, so I can't sense that.
Yes.
Yep.
That's what I struggle with, the depth.
Is that the central
If I
vision
close,
part?
if I close my eyes, I could hit it better than I can.
Wow.
Oh, right.
That's so wild.
I must
So-
try that.
These big ones will tell me it's harder.
No, but it's because when I'm looking, my visual, my sense of depth is so dependent on that. But when I close my eyes, I'm able to sense the bottom of the club. I barely lightly tap the bottom, and that's like where my arc is.
Yeah.
Ah.
So like so for me, like if I was to do this, and I'm no expert by any means, but if I was to set the club on the ground and then lightly touch it, I could get a sense of where that ground is in my mind.
Yeah.
And that allows me to control the bottom a lot easier, because I think that's the biggest problem when it comes to visual impairity, is that you don't necessarily know where the bottom is. Is that a good analysis of it?
Yeah.
And I think the one thing that could potentially help is if you put the club on the ground, you press into the ground, and then you kind of just like lightly touch the ground, and you can sense where that bottom is very easily.
Well, prior to the backswing.
Yes.
So say that again.
Prior to the backswing.
Yes, prior to the back.
Prior to the backswing.
Exactly.
So
That's
you're
what we
touching
do.
exactly. So you press into the ground, you sense where the ground is, and then you come up and you barely are like just touching the ground. So you get a sense of where the bottom of the ground, or where the bottom is.
What you can do as friends, keeping those people active, you know, just getting them down to the driving range, having a coffee, and just rather than being sat indoors with your fear, you know, all of a sudden you've lost your income, you know. If you know, you look at you guys, you know, you travel the world, and all of a sudden we've lost that. We've lost the independence of driving, how it affects the family behind, and the fear of the family, and so like I say, if Jason doesn't mind telling his story first, and then I'd like Billy to explain.
Can I real quickly say something too that not many people know about? My dad was a diabetic. He passed away last year. He lost all of his sight in his right eye, and so he had minimal vision. He had glaucoma.
Yeah.
And had minimal vision in his left eye. He was a great golfer. John DeChambeau, he played in numerous amateur events. He was a professional for a while. Played in the Phoenix Open 1 year. Diabetes at 35. You know, lost sight pretty much at 55, something like that.
Yeah.
In his right eye, and was actually still pretty prolific. I mean, he was unbelievable with what he had. He lost his leg from diabetes, and he lost his left foot, and so he would literally be playing on a prosthetic with, you know, no vision pretty much, and I'd have to help him a little bit every once in a while, set stuff up and whatnot. So it's not to say that, you know, I have I have empathy for everybody here, and
You know, it's so
understanding.
grateful, you know,
Yeah.
and like I say, you know, people don't hear these stories that you've just told us,
Right.
you know, and there's so many people out there.
So many people that struggle with it.
And basically, like I say, these charities do save people's lives.
My journey started 7 years ago only. I've only been registered blind 7 years, and basically it was a random eye test. I never went for an eye test for a long time, since junior school right through to adulthood. Got diagnosed with glaucoma there and then. First time I ever heard the word glaucoma, but they said don't worry, it could be treated with drops and stuff. Got an emergency appointment to the hospital. A week later, drove to the hospital, saw the specialist guys, basically said you're in a lot of trouble. We got to do an emergency plan to get your pressures down, because my pressures were up in the 60s and putting a lot of pressure on the optic nerve. So the shortfall of it is lots of surgeries, lots of rehab, getting introduced through Sight for Surrey, got introduced to the England and Wales blind golf, and basically meeting all these other guys all on similar journeys. Basically what it's done for me personally is I feel as though it's given me the life back that my vision has taken away. And not just me, like my family, my friends, they've all seen the path. They all saw how low I was, and now, you know, just see me living a fulfilled life again. And if it wasn't through the charity and the friendships and the support, you know, who knows what would have happened, basically.
I think 2 years after you joined, wasn't it, Jay? We went out to Italy for the World Championships, and he won the World Championships.
Wow.
Yeah,
And he
that's
shot a
amazing.
net 59 to win the World
Wow.
Championships. So,
That's unbelievable.
You know, and I'm not sure, like I said, I missed the beginning, Jay, but you only got your eyes tested while you were there because your daughters were having it done, wasn't it?
Yeah, my daughter
He
was a
wasn't-
hairdresser,
yeah.
and they used to rib her about she cut his hair so bad you need your eyes tested. So he was going for lunch after, so I said, well, I'll go with you, and we go for lunch after, and basically that's how it all come about. And lucky enough, I got diagnosed there and then, so luckily there was no accidents, no bad things happened. Like I say, everything's settling down now. I'm still going through treatment, as you can see. It's an ongoing thing. It's going to be an ongoing thing. I'm currently a B3, but my journey's going to end up like some of these guys at B1, where a lot of the guys have been through the journey of B3 to B1. And basically, these guys give you more love and support than anyone else can, because they know that, you know, they're on the journey. They know what you're going through. They know things about it, and you get more strength and, you know, meaning conversations with these guys and anybody else you can speak to. It's life changing. Like Andy said, this charity is life changing for a lot of people, not just the players. It's their whole support network, you know, and that's why it means so much to all of us. It really does, you know.
That's amazing.
Okay, my journey probably resonates with you, Bryson, what you said. So, at the age of 40, I just came home from work, parked the car on the drive, went to bed that night, and haven't seen daylight since. I lost my eyesight through diabetic retinopathy. So I've been diabetic since I was 15, injecting since 15. So it was through poor control through diabetes. My two retins came off in sleep. I never played golf before, I never was on a golf course. And it was a long journey. To cut a long story short, I lost my marriage, lost my home, and I went and lived on the streets for 11 weeks blind, because I was too proud to turn to anybody, really. Started drinking heavily. Touch women, I've hardly had a drink in 5 years now, but you know, the mental health side of things was huge. I lost my job, lost everything really. Lost friends because I didn't know how to communicate with people. Found blind golf. I thought, well, as I told Dan and a few people this morning, going from living on the streets to, you know, I need to play sport. I've always been into sport. I thought being logical, golf would be easy. There goes the logic. I'm still trying to control, you know, my diabetes. I had a triple heart bypass. I got angry. I went through the grieving process of why me, the self-pity. It took me 6-7 years to cope with it. It's only the last 5 years since I got my health life back. And there's a few people, as I say, in the society definitely helped. Andy just spoke there, helped me come down to the south coast of England. Andy Sellers, who was working in banking, I asked him for advice and how to get back to work. So the guys were there to support, but it was down to me to do something about it. And times I went things the wrong way and trying to think, well, golf, okay, I can play golf, that'll give me a social life. Trying to cope with diabetes. And with golf, I got probably the first 2 years, I think it came last in every event. To the point now, without the egoistic side, we won the Spanish Open B1, we won the British Open B1,
awesome.
played for the rest of the world in Sawgrass against the USA.
I did not tell you.
I got to actually beat us for the first time.
But I guess it comes back, you know, I've got life back on track through a little bit of hard work. But the golf's been, I can honestly say, and I've said to a few journalists, etc., you know, my temperament, my anger, my way I went about things was not correct because I just wasn't in the right place mentally. My diabetes is all controlled now, and it's the best it's been in a long time, and the golf I'm enjoying. But without playing golf like Andy and Jason, I'm not sure what option I would have took. You know, to be able-bodied and all of a sudden be totally blind and on the streets. Where do you go from there, really? So the charity has been a lifesaver, and it's not a flipping column by any stretch, because I had a choice in life: either do something about it, give up, get involved in the sport. And I learned a lot through people who, you know, guys who work, how to get back to work, how to do the kicking, how to find another woman after getting divorced. And I met a lovely woman who told me, when she met me, I said, what do you look like? Couldn't see her. She said she was 25 and lives in Sweden. I didn't know she was dyslexic. She was 52 and goes to IKEA.